I feel like this is the H&K pistol people still talk about.
The P30?
Even after the VP9.
I think it's super, super stealth right now.
Really?
Yeah, I don't hear any discussions on the P30 except with close friends that have them. But not online.
Wow.
I don't run into TMPers that have the H&K P30.
It seems like people always, yeah, do the P30. I love that. It's the best H&K pistol. It's the best 9. The VP9, whatever.
Comments in our project, they've been saying it?
Yep.
Well, here you go, dude. You're getting it. H&K P30 Year 11 TMP. It took a while. Why is that, TD?
We don't really have a lot of access to H&K stuff. We don't own it. We don't buy it so much.
We don't have a gun store.
We don't have a store that we can just pluck stuff from.
We have an association with Gunnies, the Great American Gun Store. No, we don't get paid by them.
Nope.
We don't give them money. It's just a mutual benefit where I talk about their store and hopefully you go buy some boxes of ammo from them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I check out via the federal forums these guns for testing and review.
Yep.
That's how it works. So yeah, we finally got that, and that's why we're finally reviewing the H&K P30.
Yeah.
I wanted to review it again back in, I don't know, 2009.
Yep.
Couldn't find one.
Most of the people we know, if they had them, they sold them. It seems like everyone that really collects H&Ks that I know of tend to, they're always in that cycle of getting another one and selling it off and dialing in. We just never get one.
Well, we know people who had an H&K P7 that regretted selling it.
Yep.
Just for second cool collectability. That is a cool gun.
Yeah.
The P7 squeeze cocker, especially the M13. Yeah, it had some quirks. It's gas operated. It got super hot when you fired it, but man, was it cool. Super low slide in the hand. 4-axis was smoking low.
Who would have ever thought those would be so collectible, though?
It's hard to read.
When you used to see them sitting in the counter and you're like, oh, look at all those police trade-ins.
They were always expensive when I was considering them. But yeah, there were some P7s, a standard P7 used West German ones I saw back in the early 2000s. Do I wish I would have bought one back then? Probably not, to be honest with you. It would be cool collecting it, but for first cool, I'm not a big P7 fan. For second cool, I am. For what it represented, what it was at the time, and I think guys want it just for collectability. But now you're faced with what? The USP, P30, VP9. I think the Mark 23 is pretty much tanked. I don't hear anyone talking about the Mark 23 SOCOM. You remember how touted that was when that gun came out?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Didn't we have a ton of reviews? Dude, you gotta review the Mark 23.
You gotta do it, man. It's awesome.
It's like the 2-pound Mark 23. Huge. I don't think Special Ops ever really liked that gun. It's just too dang
I don't
big.
think so.
Run a Glock 20 instead, says me.
I don't know what the hell an offensive handgun is anyways.
Yeah, it's always a backup tool to fight your way to a rifle. Oh yeah, P30, here it comes. There are different variations. This one is probably an older one. You have, what do you call it, variations 0 through 6. It usually refers to the type trigger that the P30 has. So this is a standard D8 to single action transition trigger, and I've never had an issue with that. I've always said I like it. I mean, that's like a 226, right? Standard, you know. You'll start off with a double action trigger pull. No mag disconnect in this P30, by the way. I like that.
Cool.
And then it'll cock back. Standard. I don't know why people act these days like that's such a deal breaker for them. Everyone acts like, oh, it's got to be single action only or striker fired.
That's weird.
Yeah, so V0 through 6, you can look in Wikipedia. I saw a good listing there of the different variations of triggers. I'm not going to cover it here. It's not too important. I really wanted a P30L 4.4-inch barrel long slide to review like my buddy Ray's got. Couldn't get a hold of that, so you got this P30. I always liked the gun. I'm going to tell you that right out the gate. I've always liked the P30 when I was handling it. I liked the feel of it. I liked its lightweight. It's only 26 ounces. I thought it competed favorably against Glock in terms of SAWC. Dug it. Did you even know this gun existed back in 2009?
No, that's what blows me away. It came out in like 06?
Yeah, it's been around a while. Yeah, and it's the successor, I think, to the 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, you look online. There's all types of history there. What would you use a gun for? Standard stuff. Combat handgun. Will I put this in my go-to-war handgun playlist here on YouTube? Let me just shortcut to the quick. Yes, I will.
Sweet.
I will. I think it is that good. It does have some quirks. We're going to cover them right here, right now. But for standard philosophies of use, home defense, vehicle gun, without rule of law, officer's pistol, service pistol, yes.
Totally.
And by the way, there are some countries that use this as their service pistol.
Yeah, I think it's a big hit in Europe.
Germany, Federal Customs uses it. They had a huge order, almost 14,000 pistols.
Jeez.
Portuguese security police, Malaysian Navy, Norway police, and probably some others I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
So it does have some service out there. It's not wide, it's not widespread, but the P30 does have some track record, and it continues to serve admirably. I think if it sucked, those agencies would dump it and get something else.
Yeah, they aren't hurting for options now.
No, so many great guns out there. So many great guns. Anywho, standard philosophy of use. On to features. Hostile environment coating. Nitrocarburizing on the H&K. Like we see on the USP.
I.e., it's black.
And it's tough. It's a good coating. It's like Tennifer.
Do any of these have a bad coating, though?
Not really.
It seems
They're
like
all
it's
good.
all Tennifer. It all
Bruniton on
very
the
well.
on the Berettas is excellent. The baked enamel they had, never had a problem with it. They're all good. Cold hammer forged barrel. This again is a 3.9-inch one. That's a snap cap, by the way. We have a reason for that. I got to reload it now. Polygonal rifling. What? They say even with an obstruction you can shoot your P30.
Cool.
I didn't try that, by the way. Incidentally, I think we could compose a test for any handgun that we ever review to make it fail.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Oh, totally.
We could put it in this media, that media, and basically sink any handgun we do. But we try to treat them fairly. We're going to talk about how it's shot. You'll see kind of a surprising thing about the P30. I'm going to kind of give it a pass. I'll ask TD if he will too. We'll get to that in here in a second. Cold hammer forged barrel, polygonal, ambidextrous pistol, Jardine. I think he shot it with I think he liked it, except for this portion back here. It threw everyone for a loop, except me. I didn't have a problem with it, but everyone else hated it. Look how trim the ambi slide release is. This is how you do it. Very Waltherish.
I love that slide.
Walther
release.
does the same thing. They tuck it in tight, and it's fully ambidextrous.
It's tight, and it's a big area that you can touch.
Yes, and by the way, there's no control confusion. There's no other levers or safeties or other stuff here. They may have a variation with a safety for a certain market that they produced. Again, it depends on the variation you got. But very trim, very narrow, about the same width as a Glock. And that takes us to the magazine release, also ambidextrous. And surprisingly controversial. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Guys,
some people hate
they
that
hate
mag.
it. It's just like the PPQ Classic, the USP. I've never had a problem with it.
We always like them.
The PPQ Classic review, I said, yeah, I like it. And yet the American shooter acts like this. If they don't have a push button here, it's a deal sinker. So I'm really interested to see what guys say in this updated review on the H&K P30. If they say, well, I wouldn't buy it because of magazine release. Oh, adapt, bro. That's what I'd say. I don't have an issue with it. So my point in bringing that up and that up is it's a great ambi pistol. There's really nothing that would throw you off as a left-handed shooter, except it does have a right-handed ejection. And in our shooting video, which I'll inset, you can see how it ejected. This I don't like. I don't like humps in my trigger guard. I don't like it. I will say while shooting it wasn't that big of a problem. I wasn't going, oh, my finger's rubbing. It's so uncomfortable. I wasn't saying that. But, you know, I sit there, I don't like it. But to be fair, my finger drags in Glock trigger guards too, which I think are undersized.
Yeah.
I've said that ever since I started TMP. Anyway, square trigger guard, love that. Thank you so much. And they haven't changed it over the years. And that takes it to the trigger. I'm not a super fan of the trigger in some respects on the P30. Here's one. So I don't like pure polymer trigger. So I'm going to hold the hammer forward. So we have an exposed hammer design. This is not a striker fired pistol. And you can see I get trigger flex. See this? I don't dig that.
That's not great.
I don't like that. I like either a metal trigger or a metal reinforced trigger, or like a Glock, it's so freaking strong polymer-wise, there's no flex at all. I don't like that. And I said that with some other H&K designs. I can't remember if it was a VP9 or USP. Had the same thing. And some other pistols I reviewed through the years.
Yeah, it's a weird issue to have.
It adds mushiness to it unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, while shooting it, I'm not going, wow, there's a lot of trigger flex. There is some, but you're so concentrated on the trigger, you don't notice it. But there is some flex because you can see as I'm taking up, not holding the hammer, the trigger is kind of flexing. Now, that's one thing I don't like. So, let's say,
Locked open for me.
you know, I cock it, I shoot it.
Now.
Here's another thing I don't like, is the reset is very spongy. So we're looking for reset, It's getting a little crunchy. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There's a reset. It's
Wow.
way forward on the HK P30. But again, remember the time frame.
Yeah.
It's 06 when it came out. And reset wasn't a huge issue then. All the pistols now know in marketplace you better have a really tight reset because you have competitors like the PPQ.
Yep.
And they're like, well, we got to compete against that. And there were no PPQs when this came out, VP9s for that matter. There were Glocks. By the way, I've always loved the Glock reset. I think it's excellent.
I think it's all right.
But I'm just saying it's not awesome. The single action trigger pull is decent. I measured it at about 7 pounds, 4 ounces on a pull. I'll save you from doing it right now on camera. And the double action is long, take up, just like anything. But I don't care if it's a SIG or XDM. Not XDM, but any other double action gun. Well, here's a CZ75, just by way of representation. Our Cold War special. Special. Okay, and that takes to another feature which is probably controversial, and that is the hammer drop button is what I'll call it. It's slide mounted. It is a weird location, so this is how you drop the hammer. So TD, you had like all types of confusion with this.
I hate it so much.
He was out there, he's going left hand, you'll see him in video. I'm like, dude, just use your right hand thumb. It was really uncomfortable for you to do that, is that correct?
It just doesn't make sense. Why put it on the back of the slide, one of the least accessible places on the pistol?
I agree with that.
You have to, if you're holding it with your right hand, you have to break
come
your entire
all the way
grip.
back. Look at how I changed my grip, or I come off with offhand to do it. Either way, I'm breaking grip, as opposed to like a SIG, which is right here.
Yeah.
Or an FNP, or FN, whatever that gun was that I reviewed. It had the same thing.
FNP9 or FNX, whatever. Although it does get rid of the confusion of decocker and safety and all that stuff.
It's clean right here, but I agree that you're breaking your grip and it's weird. I can adapt to it. It's borderline showstopper for me. The trigger and that, I'm kind of like,
It just adds to the quirkiness of it, and it increases the amount of dedication you have to devote to training and shooting with it a lot to get good with it.
Or just dry fire practicing with it. Your muscle memory either way will adapt. But it's weird. I give you that. Good traction on the pistol grip, and you have finger grooves. Do you guys like that?
I love how that grip is.
Well, but if you have big hands, fat hands, will you like it? Dude, Glocks with finger grooves were railed upon.
Yep.
It's the whole reason they came out with the 5th gen.
Yep.
And, you know, now the H&K has it. It'll be interesting to see if people give it a pass.
Yep.
You know, I have large size hands, and with the magazine in, it actually fits me perfect. You can change the width of the grip panels and the back strap for 27 different possible configurations on an H&K P30. Do I care? Nope. Don't care. It's marketing, if you ask me. Every gun that I see, again, that has interchangeable back straps, people don't use them. They just run it. Unless they have really small hands or really, really big hands.
Yeah, if it's easy to do out of the box, they throw it on once and go, that's fun.
There's your magwell. 15 rounds. So back in 06, that was standard firepower. Yeah. Now we're looking at 18 as being a standard. High quality magazines. We wouldn't expect anything less from H&K. Made in Germany. By the way, this is Gunny's range gun. So this gun actually has a lot of rounds through it. Yeah.
Wow.
Lot of rounds. I cleaned it up for the review, but this is a range gun. This is not a brand new gun.
Cool.
So this is a loaner, and he goes on range days with it. Polymer base pad on it. You do get 2 magazines with it, a cleaning kit, and like a Pokemon. Did you know you get a Pokemon with this?
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm not sure which one.
Sweet.
Remember when you used to be in Pokemon, dude? You used to be way into Pokemon. Hugely. That's a magazine. Here's your sights, metal variety, 3-dot. And they're not tritium, but they are glow in the dark, which is something. It's cool.
It's cute.
Cool. Spurred hammer. No problems there. See, I'm like doing my SIG thing coming up here. It is a training issue. Good slide serrations. Very similar to the whole slide milling, just reminds me of the VP9.
Yeah.
Which I like. I think the VP9 is a great gun. The only thing I could ever say is that, hey, PPQ, VP9, basically the same gun. You know, they're just trying to grab a piece of the pie. External extractor on the HK P30, and we were thinking, well, when you have a cartridge in the chamber, that will push out a little bit, right?
Loaded chamber indicator.
So is that, by the way.
So is that.
We'll put the dummy snap cap in. Look how used that is, by the way. Awesome. Load it. Extractor looks identical. Right? Am I missing anything? probably. Anyway, we just thought we'd discuss that. External extractor. It's so funny how the discussion bounces back between the advantages of external versus internal extractor. Yeah, so whatever. Either one can be good. That's features pretty much. Now we go on to how did it shoot? H&K P30. Here's your paper. Let me talk about first the shooting dynamics. I actually love the way the H&K P30 shot. I thought the muzzle flip was minimal. I thought it was accurate for me. I was able to make a lot of hits with it easily. I adapted to its somewhat strange trigger. I adapted to its slide drop button. You were less enthused, correct?
Yeah.
You weren't totally digging it?
No.
Stop recording.
I thought you were hitting with it, though.
I was. It was alright. I didn't mind the trigger. We shot a lot of good guns that day, though, so it was...
Well, that's good, though, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I put V3 on here. I'm not sure if that's correct. 115 grain jacket hollow point Remington right there. Shooting good. 124 grain plus P. Federal expanding full metal jacket. That's a cool load, by the way. Good group. 124 grain hollow point gold dots. That's an awesome group. This is standing at 10 yards in the desert, dudes. You're watching the footage somewhere. Good group, good group. American Eagle, you can read it. Look at that. That's 5 shots. Actually, it's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots. Remington 115 JHPs. Fiocchi JHPs. So the accuracy on this gun is excellent. As good as anything else we've seen. Excellent. Maybe outstanding is the word for it. It's a very accurate gun. Again, going back to the barrel. Cold hammer forged, polygonal rifling. I love the shooting dynamics of it. However, when we get to reliability, there was a rub. This is a range gun. It has seen a lot of rounds. I did not pre-lube it before I started shooting it, nor, honestly, do I think I should. Right? A Glock, I don't have to do that. So we took it out shooting it, and it jammed right out the gate. So Jardine and I were shooting it. We had multiple failures. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So it was a fail on that outing. Took it back to the house, cleaned it up, totally lubricated it, did it all over again. 2 more outings in the desert, and guess what?
What we got in there.
100%.
Sweet.
100%. So there you go. It's just a data point proving once again that no gun is infallible. Not even an H&K product. What's their motto again? Accept no compromises?
I think so.
Yeah. Unless you want 100% reliability.
Yeah.
I'm kidding! Joke! It's a great gun. Would I trust it with my life? Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I told you at the outset I'm going to put it in my Hall of Fame Go to War pistol playlist, whatever I call it.
Yeah.
It's a great gun. It really is. It has some serious quirks. And you need to know if it will work for you. Go to a range, rent one. You know, there's probably some ranges in your area that have H&K P30s. Shoot it. See if you like it.
I'll say this. The pistol landscape reminds me a lot of Tinder nowadays. It's like online dating. There are so many freaking options. If the slightest thing is not to your liking on this particular one,
swipe
get
left.
it the hell out of there, because guess what? I got a CZ75 that'll answer every one of your life's problems. No, but it is. The double stack 9mm pistol market is so saturated.
It's competitive.
I don't see the reason of... if you are okay with the quirks and you like it, rock on. But would I accept the quirks when there are so many other pistols that do the same thing, even with extra rounds in the mag? Compared to this, I don't know.
My answer is, and then we get to competitive options, would we buy it? I would probably not buy it, but it's still a great gun. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a great gun.
It's a great gun.
Compared to the PPQ?
PPQ I'd buy all day long over this gun.
Even compared to the VP9?
VP9 I'd buy all day long over a P30. And by the way, I did not initially think that before I started shooting this gun. I thought they'd be neck and neck. I thought the P30 and the VP9, I'd go, I mean, I really like the P30. Like I said, I've always wanted to test it. I always wanted to get a hold of one.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, once I got a hold of it, found its quirks like that, the trigger, you don't know until you actually start putting some rounds down range. Now I'm less enthused.
Against the TP9 SA?
I'd buy the TP9 over this gun.
Me too.
How about the Steyr M9A1? I'd buy that over
Totally.
Totally.
I'd do that for the sights
Dude, this
alone.
freaking looks tough. Look at that gun. It looks like Blade Runner. Totally awesome. Hey, that doesn't have the track record of H&K. It had a great track record with us. Still does.
The trigger doesn't flex on the Steyr.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's a striker-fired pistol, so it's a little bit different. Talk about a sweet trigger.
Wicked.
Yeah,
It's such an awesome gun. But the H&K P30, dudes, we're giving it a relatively good likability scale for its quirks. It's very accurate. Once we lubed it, kept it clean, it was reliable.
And for how old the design is, it's competitive still.
It's representative of its time.
I can't say that for every pistol that came out around 2005, 2006.
They're still making it and they're still selling it.
Yeah.
I think it should probably sell more units than it does. I really do. Like you said, you've heard of people that have it. I say it's stealth. I don't hear anything about the P30.
Oh, that's weird because
you know, there's dudes that do use it as their GTW option for sure. I know Ray does. I think it's a good pistol. The long slide version would be even better. Review complete.
Boom. Swipe right.
Window. Right side 2. Window 3. Stand up, long shot.
Oh,
it didn't lock open, huh?
no, it didn't.
That's all right. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh crap! You didn't have your
Get
ears
the double
on?
ears.
Oh heck! You should have called a timeout. I didn't notice.
No, I didn't notice either. I've got the earplugs in, but okay.
Nice. Excellent. Short.
Ah, didn't lock open.
Just not locking open.
Nice gun.
It's wicked.
Nice gun. You want me going prone again?
Whatever. You're gonna run your own thing.
Okay. Cool. We'll go long right here.
All hits. Drop that hammer between.
Okay.
Okay, you don't have to drop the hammer anymore. Would you buy that gun?
There's a few things I don't like about this.
Yeah.
We'll say the first one, I'm not a big fan of the hammer on this gun.
The hammer drop?
The hammer drop and everything else. There's a hammer drop right there for you. Being left-handed, the only way I can really do it keeping the gun in fire control is to drop like that, which is okay, but I could leave that. And then also, when shooting the gun,
so here's when it'd be cocked like this.
Right. But you're looking forward. Look how long that take up is. So the gun's gonna reset, the trigger's gonna reset, and then all that slop. That's a lot of take up. So I'm not a big fan of that. But
yeah.
But that's me. That's just me.
Do you participate in any gun forums whatsoever?
No.
I want people to understand that when you give an opinion, it's totally
fresh. I'm a totally just a weekend shooter, occasional shooter.
That's why I like Jardine. It's always a pure opinion.
Yeah, I've never handled that gun in my life.
So not an H&K hater at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. You pulled this out. I'd never handled this gun, never seen it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, fun to shoot. The positive side is I really like the grip. The ergonomics on this is excellent.
Yeah.
The grip is excellent. I don't like the, there's your magazine release right there. I don't like that. You know, if you're a lefty, you do have have a slide release right here, which is nice.
Same with the mag though. That's lefty.
Yeah, you can do both.
Compatible,
You have to,
lefty compatible.
You really have to. I mean, I've got big hands, and I've really got to reach around to get to that. So for me,
a lot of guys use your index finger like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I would probably end up doing it, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, nice gun. Just there's things I would prefer.
You wouldn't spend $1,000 on that gun though.
No way. Nope. I wouldn't.
Roger.